This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
That the history books will remember this time as a time in which our city came together to sacrifice for the common good.
The slow move towards opening businesses in Marion County continues, but the local response to the COVID-19 pandemic will continue to lag behind much of the rest of Indiana. Good afternoon to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Stage 3 of Marion County's return from the pandemic is going to look slightly different than most of the rest of Indiana right now. The mayor and the director of Marion County's health department say the county is slowly making progress in the fight against COVID-19. But even as more of the country opens up and more of the county opens up, the mayor is asking the public to cooperate and especially to wear a mask.
When you see someone with a mask, they aren't wearing it for themselves. They're wearing it for you. And to those who disagree with the science or the style of wearing masks in public, I have an even simpler message. You're simply wrong.
Well, here is what the next stage for Marion County will look like. Starting Friday, indoor religious services can expand to 50% capacity as long as there are social distancing measures in place and worshipers are wearing face coverings. Starting Monday, restaurants can resume indoor dining at 50% capacity. They can also continue outdoor dining at the same customer levels. Malls and other retail stores must continue to have social distancing, but they can raise their capacity from 50 to 75%. Gyms and pools can also reopen at 50% capacity, again with mandatory social distancing measures in place. Also, personal services like salons and spas and also tattoo parlors can reopen on Monday, but by appointment only. Also, it will be mandatory for staff and customers at those businesses to wear masks. Bars, bowling alleys, and movie theaters will remain closed. Also today, the city is reopening the southwest quadrant of Monument Circle to car traffic. It had been closed to help restaurants offer outdoor dining. The southeast quadrant of the circle will remain closed to vehicles for now. We have all this information for you on our website, theindychannel.com. We do want to take a turn right now to our forecast. Maybe you're trying to get out and about on this Wednesday. Todd, I just stepped outside for a few minutes right before the show, and it became a beautiful day. I know we had some rain showers last time we chatted during the show this morning, but what can we expect this afternoon?
Yeah, you know, we had that band of heavy rain. You're exactly right, Lauren. That went through this morning and lifted to the north, and now we got into some sunshine. But now that we're into the sunshine, guess what? More storms are starting to appear here across central Indiana. And we'll continue to deal with these showers off and on and these downpours as they make their way through the area. You notice them over towards Brazil and into the Greencastle area, down towards Martinsville, a few downpours, and then off towards the east. Once again, from Knightstown to Cambridge City, a few downpours starting to flare up. And we'll just have to deal with these off and on throughout the day. There's more showers right along the Ohio River that are going to start to lift to the north. We are just in such a warm, muggy, tropical-like air mass across the area that it's just going to be very easy when you get into sunshine to flare up a downpour or two. So just be prepared for them if you are going to be out and about. It's very possible one may totally miss your neighborhood. You may not get a drop of rain today, while some of you may pick up quite a bit of rainfall in spots. Highs today will be anywhere from about 80 to 85 degrees. When you factor in the humidity, Lauren, it'll feel a little bit warmer than that. So it's still going to be rather uncomfortable, but if you are going to be out and about, again, I would have that umbrella handy just in case. Better rain chances arrive tomorrow and Friday, but then a whole new air mass is in place. More on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, the middle of the week has shown only a small increase in the number of COVID-19 cases and deaths here in Indiana. Now, this is a change from previous weeks where the new data tended to cause numbers to spike midweek. The state health department is reporting 21 new deaths and 370 new cases of the coronavirus today. Governor Holcomb will have more on the state's response during his briefing at 2:30 this afternoon. As always, you can watch that right here live on RTV6. Well, nursing homes are still having a lot of trouble dealing with the pandemic. The number of people who have died from COVID-19 in nursing homes has more than doubled in just the past 3 weeks. Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny found some families are taking big steps to protect their loved ones, and she's digging in to find out what those numbers mean.
We first told you about problems surrounding Greenwood Meadows back in early April, and new numbers now show it's one of the hardest hit facilities in central Indiana. Dozens of people have died here from COVID-19. Gloria Benefield's mom, Violet, developed COVID-19 while living at Greenwood Meadows. This is a picture of Violet Benefield on April 5th before she got sick. This is her on May 20th. Her daughter says Violet is now negative, but she's still not feeling well.
She has a sore throat now and ear infection, and they haven't addressed that.
Gloria plans to remove her mom from Greenwood Meadows and move Violet in with her. 32 people have died at the facility, one of the highest death tolls at a long-term care facility in central Indiana.
I've already cleared out a bedroom for her to go into. We've already bought her a bed and everything else. But like I said, she doesn't get the care that is supposed to be given.
They're operated by American Senior Communities, the state's largest nursing home provider, which started posting numbers this month on each facility's website about cases and deaths. Greenwood Meadows also posted this video to YouTube showing various staff members emphasizing the facility has been communicating daily with residents and their families.
I believe this daily communication has not only created new relationships, but has helped our families have a better peace of mind at home, knowing their loved one is being continuously cared for.
American Senior Communities and its partner Health and Hospital say deaths are higher in their facilities for several reasons, including they're testing more residents than other operators, which means more deaths are identified as COVID-19 related. They operate a large number of nursing homes in urban areas where the virus is most concentrated, and they care for a large number of Alzheimer's and dementia residents who are difficult to keep separate and are especially vulnerable to COVID-19. At least 32 people have died at another Johnson County facility, Greenwood Healthcare Center. Their operator, Communicare, says they have higher numbers in part because they have a ventilator unit, which brings in patients with respiratory problems.
Well, I think when you just focus on the numbers, you really miss the big picture. It's true that the Greenwood facility has had those numbers of fatalities, and our thinking is that the vent unit and certainly the age and underlying health condition of the population there plays a role in it.
Communicare emphasizes most patients are recovering.
We had a single day high earlier in May of 115 residents who had been COVID positive. Many of them, a great many of them, had no symptoms whatsoever. But now we're down to about 25 residents in our isolation unit.
Two of the highest death tolls at long-term care facilities are in Johnson County. The health department tells us the two facilities are large and treat the sickest elderly patients in Johnson County. Many of these patients are in hospice and have chosen to live their last days in these facilities. For families like the Benefields, they're making the difficult decision to get their loved one out. Reporting in Johnson County, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Kara, thank you. Health and Hospitals Board has requested an independent review, which will provide recommendations to address the residents' needs. You can read the entire statement in this story on the RTV6 app. You can also find that at theindychannel.com. Well, this may look legitimate, but looks can be deceiving. Up next, an email you don't want to click on if it shows up in your inbox. Todd.
And Lauren, we're dealing with isolated storms starting to flare up once again across central Indiana. And this will be the case throughout the afternoon hours as we are just stuck in this warm and muggy air mass. As we work our way throughout the coming days, the storms become even more numerous. We'll talk all about it coming up when the news at noon continues right here on RTV6.
Mission begins tonight on ABC.
The Federal Trade Commission has a new warning about scammers targeting college students, and like many recent scams, it is tied to the COVID-19 pandemic. So listen up. The FTC says students are getting emails claiming to be from the financial department of their college or university and ask them to click on a link for a message about their COVID-19 stimulus check. But if you click on the link, you could be giving your personal information to scammers and possibly downloading malware onto your device. So if you get an email like this, you should not click the link. You can also report this or any type of phishing scam on the website. Just go to your screen. That's ftc.gov/complaint. More people want to vote by mail, but will they get it in time for next week's primary? Next, why Marion County may not want you to put your absentee ballot right in your mailbox if you want your vote to count. And let's take a live look outside right now over the Circle City. Some clouds moving in, as you can see. We'll check in with Todd Clausen and see what we can expect for the rest of the afternoon and the rest of your work week. That's coming up right here on the News at Noon. Stick around. Welcome back. The coronavirus pandemic helped fuel the surge in voting by mail for next week's Indiana primary, so much so that the Marion County Clerk's office says it is overwhelmed. A number of voters still haven't received their absentee ballots that they requested. That has them worried that they may not be able to return them by the deadline of noon on Election Day. That's next Tuesday. The Marion County Clerk now recommends that when you fill out your absentee ballot, you should try to return it in person to one of the county's 22 vote centers.
If a voter receives their ballot in the mail this week, I would not recommend that they put their ballot in the mail just because we may not get it in time.
Well, the clerk's office says there was a record number of absentee ballot applications in Marion County for the primary, but COVID-19 restrictions have also limited the number of people in the clerk's office who can process those applications. In-person early voting continues until Election Day. Poll workers are taking steps to make sure everyone is safe. We have more information on early voting, including early voting sites near you, on our website, theindychannel.com. Well, the second named storm of this year's Atlantic hurricane season has formed. The National Hurricane Center says Bertha has officially become a tropical storm this morning, and just over 2 hours ago it made landfall on the coast of South Carolina. The storm is mainly expected to bring heavy rain to the area. Bertha's maximum sustained winds are near 45 miles per hour, but it's expected to weaken to a tropical depression after moving inland. And Todd, is that storm going to impact our weather at all here in the Circle City?
Yeah, no, it really shouldn't have much of an impact for us here in central Indiana, Lauren. What's going to happen is a cold front's going to come through and give us rainfall over the course of the next few days. In fact, some of us may see a lot of rain, but not from Bertha. That cold front will help to push that out to sea once again and up the East Coast. But here it is right now, bringing some heavy rain to central portions of South Carolina. And this will just be a rainmaker for them. Could be some rough surf, but shouldn't see too much in the way of wind damage. I'll quickly take you down to Cape Canaveral there, right between Daytona Beach and Melbourne for the space launch. Hopefully later on there this afternoon at 4:33, but there is a lot of thunderstorm action down across parts of Florida here this afternoon now. So we'll have to see if it goes. It's not looking the best, but we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. Closer to home, we had that heavy rainfall earlier this morning that has now made its way out of the area. And then we got into some sunshine, and it's warm and steamy out there. And as soon as we got into that sunshine, we started to flare up these additional downpours. Not picking up any lightning right now on Storm Team 6 radar. That's the good news. And it's feast or famine. Either you're getting a heavier downpour or you're not getting anything at all. Newcastle over to Hagerstown, Cambridge City, down to Connorsville. We'll come into the metro area. One little shower starting to get going here as you work your way up Meridian Street to Washington Township. And then here's that little heavier downpour up in the Zionsville area. But you see how big it is. It is not very big at all. And then as we work our way over towards the western side of the state, some additional storms there that are currently making their way just slowly off towards the north and towards the northwest. So they're going to be heading towards Rockville over the next 15 minutes. So we're just very, very unsettled. There is a lot of shower activity still to our south that stretches here that is going to start to lift to the north. My best advice to you is that if you are going to be out and about the next few days, to have the umbrella handy. Rain chances here for today are going to be on a moderate level, but then they're very high for Thursday and Friday before we take them out of the forecast on Saturday. Here's TrueCast for today. You can see these spotty storms off and on throughout the afternoon hours. Again, they're not going to be widespread by any means, so just check the radar before you head out for that walk. And if you are going out for a walk, you are going to be working up a sweat with temperatures that will be anywhere from 80 to 85 degrees. Fast forward to this time tomorrow, more showers and storms storms will be just making their way through the area at times. We'll have to contend with that. And then finally, a cold front will come through during the day on Friday. And this is going to potentially bring a heavier round of rain through the area Friday morning into the early afternoon hours before it pushes off towards the east. So have the umbrella handy, especially Thursday and Friday. But once that front goes through, Lauren, look at the weekend and beyond. The humidity is much lower. The temperatures are a lot lower with highs only in the 70s. Lows will be in the 50s. And most important, we have lots of sunshine as well. So very unsettled here through about Friday mid-afternoon. And then a much better forecast just in time for the last weekend in May. Hard to believe.
All right. Pretty crazy, Todd. Thank you for that. Well, that warm weather is good news for businesses like the Square Scoop in Fountain Square. The shop serves up ice cream in creative flavors and combinations, but that's not all. Our Brad Brown shows us the nostalgic treats that are also on the menu.
You can find just about anything you're hungry for in the Fountain Square neighborhood. But if it's time for ice cream, it's time to get into the Square Scoop.
It's been different, that's for sure. I mean, once the weather improved, we've had a pretty good crowd. And it certainly hasn't been to the level that it was during the warm weather last year yet. But I think hopefully we're getting there.
The Scoop took over this space last fall. Along with their full selection of ice cream treats, they offer a wide range of old-time candy and sodas.
We've got candy from basically every decade, you know, things that I remember from when I was a kid, you know, things that kids now recognize too.
The Square Scoop's case already includes some unique flavors, but you can also take any of their dozens of soda selections and make a float of your own.
Well, we had somebody do cookies and cream and lemonade, which I thought was very odd. They seem to enjoy it, so that's all good. I think one thing that people really appreciate down here is we offer several vegan options. So instead of just being able to get a sorbet or something like that, those that are lactose intolerant or vegan are able to choose from a few different flavors. So that's always been popular.
The updated social distancing rules mean this little shop can only go one at a time, but customers continue to wait their turn and smiles abound.
I think all in all, people are pretty respectful and they understand that. So it's been good. And, you know, it hasn't really changed our menu that much because most of the items at an ice cream shop are grab and go anyway, really. Early on, there were probably a few weeks where we felt like we were the only place open around. You know, there wasn't much going on. Starting to see a little more activity. Certainly with the cultural trail running right down Virginia Avenue, it really helps with foot traffic on nice days like today.
Square Scoop is offering a take-home float kit. You get a 4-pack of soda and a pint of ice cream, perhaps something like a vanilla cream soda and a pint of coffee toffee. Get creative with your combo. They're located right off the Fountain Square station of the Red Line in case you're riding the bus over. Their hours are Tuesday through Sunday, 2 till 8 p.m., carry out only. And you can visit the Square Scoop website for more information on their menu and their daily flavor options. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
All right, Brad, sounds good. Thank you so much. Still ahead on the news at noon, we're going to get one final check of your forecast and talk about NASA's SpaceX launch. That's coming up. Stay tuned.
An RTV6 Hiring Hoosiers partner.
Welcome back. Here is a live look at the Cape Canaveral area in Florida, where in just a few hours from now, 2 astronauts will be making history in the next major step for the space program. A SpaceX Dragon capsule is scheduled to carry astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley into the International Space Station. It's the first time in 9 years that NASA has launched astronauts from U.S. soil. The last time was back in 2011 when NASA retired the Space Shuttle program. This is also the first time humans will have flown on a mission on a SpaceX rocket. The launch is set for 4:33 this afternoon, weather permitting. ABC News will provide live coverage of the historic launch. You can watch that here on RTV6. And Todd, I know you said they may have some storms to deal with down there in Florida today, so hopefully they have a little window of opportunity.
Yeah, you know, hopefully they get a little window there just in time, Lauren. Of course, there are numerous storms right now, and if there's any lightning around, definitely it's going to be a no-go later on this afternoon. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. Some spotty storms here. Nothing severe today, but they'll be out there this afternoon. They become more numerous tomorrow, and then Friday when the cold front comes through, areas of rain. The payoff, though, is a good one. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, nothing but sunshine. Much lower humidity as a new air mass will be in place with lows in the 50s. and highs, Lauren, that'll be in the 70s through Monday and then back up to 80 degrees on Tuesday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. Come back here, join us for the news at 5 o'clock. We hope you have a great afternoon.